It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy. Coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, go, go. Dig, dig, dig. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Okay, everybody, we're going to roll into our availability with our two-time and defending champion, Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie, what do you have to do this weekend?
Got to finish 400 miles, and looking forward to it. Ready to get on track. It's been a busy week, and just really eager to get in the car and get into, what I do and what this team's about and what we like to do, which is drive that car and make it fast. So I'm excited to get out there.
Sounds good. Questions for Jimmie? Please state your name and affiliation. Who has the first question? Looks like it's Bruce.
Bruce Martin with SI.com. I guess with NASCAR's ban on testing, you're going to have a lot more free time in January, or maybe a lot less if they take you to some other tracks that aren't on the schedule to test. What are your reactions to that?
I think it's a mistake. I think the teams need a chance to work on their cars, to improve their programs, to put on a better show. If we had this rule last year, or I'm sorry, at the start of this year, with all the development work that needed to be done to this car, not only for the 48 team, but the whole series, I don't think we'd be where we are today. I do understand and recognize that we need to cut expenses, and if I feel a good compromise of the two would be to allow the teams to run data acquisitions on Friday. We can get it off the cars, we can adjust the schedule and make it work, and let the teams have a chance to collect data to make these cars better. Doesn't look like that's the case, and now we're going to need to focus on other ways to collect data, or to create simulation programs or machines to create on-track activity, and then test at tracks that may not work and on tires that we won't race on, and to try to find a baseline. I mean, it's going to slow things down and make it more expensive and limit some guys, but we still have to get on the track and work. We still have to test. I mean, we cannot sit still, and we won't.
Let's go Al, Dominic, and then Monty.
Al Tays, FoxSports.com. Jimmie, if you win the championship here with 3 championships in a row, you'll join some pretty elite company. Do you find it difficult at all to think of yourself in terms of being one of the top NASCAR drivers of all time?
And we talked about this a bunch already, and I don't think it's my place to really say where I fit in. I mean, I feel like I'm doing my job. I feel against these guys I'm racing against now, I know where I fit in and how good my team is, and how good the performances I've been able to put up, and I'm very proud of that. But as far as the history books and things like that, it's just not my place to say. And on top of that, I'm 33 and have a lot of years left of driving. So I think I'll still have more opportunities to increase my position there.
Dom.
Jimmie, Dominic Fischer, Journal de Montréal, over here in the middle. We gotta understand, the impact on the performance of the testing ban. But can you tell us, does it worry you on a safety standpoint that some of these teams will be out there with parts, setups and stuff that hasn't been on the track, hasn't been really tested, and you're all going to be there at Daytona at 200 miles an hour?
No, that's not a concern for me. NASCAR, with their inspection process, they cover a lot of the basics for safety, and also any components that are introduced to the car have to be approved by NASCAR. So on that front, feel totally safe and fine. I mean, no concerns there.
Monty.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Jimmie, when you go into, let's just assume you were going into the final race of the season, and maybe by the wildest coincidence, only a disaster could stop you from winning a 3rd straight championship. Are you superstitious? And does that make you more superstitious?
I've had this thought come through my mind at different times. I've been in a position where things I see one of the things I look for are pennies, or I don't look for them. If I see one and it's not heads up, I'll kick it until it's heads up. I'll see numbers and I'll think, wow, things are working out. The room number I'm staying in, I had to do some weird math, but it equaled 3 once I went through the 3-digit room combination. It's just stupid things like that. They go on in my mind, and they've always been there, but none of it's ever really meant anything. I mean, last weekend, doing my goofy little games, everything was against me and we won. So I'm like, okay, that stuff doesn't make any sense. And so this weekend, as I've been playing my normal games that I do with myself, I'm just thinking back to last weekend where none of it matters, and it's been helpful. Been much more relaxed. Just in case, I got up at 7:03 this morning just to play with the 3 thing. Instead of a minute on the microwave, I'll go 48 seconds and stuff like that. I mean, I've always done that goofy stuff, and it's worked, and it's been there when I've run well and run bad. So I guess I'm finding some peace that it doesn't really matter.
We'll go Jay Hart, Brian Nelson, and then Tom Jensen.
Jay Hart, Yahoo Sports. Hey, Jimmy, I know the news obviously just came down, but what do you expect your testing schedule to look like next year at non-sanctioned tracks? Do you think it'll be more as extensive, or what do you expect?
I think it's still a moving target right now. It takes a lot of tracks off the table that we can run at, with the pouring over into the weekly stuff and truck and nationwide. So I guess our guys need to get to work and see what tracks are available and where we might be able to run and get some track times. So I guess it is just too early right now to really know what that will look like. January looks a lot better now. I'm excited about that. I might extend my vacation a little bit now since I don't have to be in Daytona. But the other stuff outside the Daytona test, I mean, the Vegas test and the California test, that's a test that the teams really need to get started for the season. Daytona, I mean, I can see the Daytona test disappearing and saving a lot of teams money, period. But when I heard the news this morning, I was shocked. I didn't expect or think we would be in a position where there was no testing.
Brian.
Hey, Jimmy. Brian Nelson with MRN. How would you grade the car after its first full year of competition? And is there a lot of fine-tuning left to do for 09?
Yeah, I think the more we work with it, the better the car gets. I feel on short tracks, I feel on road courses, even the super speedway stuff I think has been good. The area I think where we still need to work on the car is on the 1.5-mile, 2-mile tracks. You can only get so close to the guy in front of you, and it's difficult to really run side by side with the big hole that these cars punch. I would say the short tracks and road courses and such, car's got an A in my opinion. It's done really, really well. I think on these bigger tracks, it's in a C+ category, C category.
Tom.
Jimmy, Tom Jensen, SpeedTV.com. What's the single biggest thing Chad has helped you with the most, and what's the single biggest thing you've helped Chad with the most in the years you guys have been together?
He's really challenged me. The fight that he has in him is contagious, and he challenges you to do more than you ever would have done. I mean, and it's easy to do that when you look at a guy that's doing it. If it's somebody telling you should work hard and then he's cutting out at 4 o'clock and showing up at 9 and not putting in the time, it's tough to believe that. But he's the first one in, last one out, and working endless hours, and it's contagious amongst the team. And he's helped me get outside of what I thought was working hard and put in more time and enjoy doing it and seeing the results. I think I've brought some patience into his life and trying to slow him down. And I know that Mr. Hendrick has brought in the whole concept of delegating and sharing the load, because Chad's 04, 05 range. Chad was just taking on all the responsibilities and couldn't. Nobody could keep up with that. And then Darian Grubb came into the picture and was a huge help. And now Greg Ives is in that position. So I think Rick has taught him how to have more people to rely on.
We'll go